Let's take it back to Mark Steyn. I mean, John Kelly is a star. He enlisted in the Marines in 1970. He grew up in Brighton, Boston. He is of Irish Catholic heritage. You know, he ran the operations in the Iraq theater during the height of tensions there in 2008. The president has full faith in John Kelly, given his performance with border security.
Yeah, he's actually had a pretty good 6 months at Homeland Security, which is more than you can say for Reince Priebus. And I think the idea of appointing Priebus had been to kind of try and make Trump a House-trained Republican president, to move him closer to the kind of Jeb Bush, Lindsey Graham territory. And it didn't work. And I think one of the lessons of the Scaramucci, remarkable Scaramucci thing with the New Yorker is that Trump is going to stand or fall as a uniquely Trumpian kind of president. You can't make him a mainstream Republican. You can't make him George W. Bush. You can't make him Gerald Ford. You can't make him a mainstream Republican president. He's going to rise or fall on whether he succeeds as a Trumpian president.
John Kelly has a 45-year career. He has the distinction of being the longest-serving general in the military. This after multiple headlines, and of course all the media talk shows are saying this is a White House in chaos. There is civil war that is breaking out in the White House. Will a general fix those problems?
Well, a general is supposed to be able to instill discipline. I mean, the idea that you could have an army filled with fellows like Anthony Scaramucci and it would run with military discipline is, I think, a little far-fetched. But I think what is actually necessary here is for Kelly to actually not so much deal with the Scaramuccis, but deal with the lack of cooperation that Trump is getting from mainstream Republican leadership like Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the way it was playing out in the White House, it's as if, you know, Scaramucci and Reince Priebus were putting kick-me signs on each other's backs, and they wanted to repeal and replace each other. And, you know, the issue with Scaramucci, just going ahead and calling the New Yorker magazine and thinking that would not be off the record. There was no indication, according to the New Yorker, they said it was the whole time on the record. Will the General Kelly just stop all of that behavior, and can he get after the leaks as well? Because that's been plaguing the White House.
Well, the leaks are a plague, and maybe he can get on with it. But, you know, I would put it this way. We don't know. It's an unusual interview, the Scaramucci interview. But then when you look at Republican business as usual, which is what happened with John McCain at 2:30 in the Senate last night, we know Republican business as usual does not work for conservative voters or for the base. You know, when the Democrats win, they're in power. When Republicans win, they're in office, and nothing gets done. And so Kelly's thing is not just to stop the leaks, but actually ensure that in all the chaos, the focus on policy doesn't get. I enjoy, strictly for entertainment value, it's not exactly Lincoln's team of rivals. It's like Lincoln's team of grade school playground rivals. So I quite enjoy that in a kind of low-grade backstabbing way, but only as a bonus to effective policy movement, and that's the real issue.
So that is the D.C. swamp. That's what Trump has been fighting. The D.C. swamp inside the White House, that kind of internecine behavior. And now just breaking more news, President Trump just tweeting out, I would like to thank Reince Priebus for his service and dedication to his country. We accomplished a lot together, and I am proud of Reince Priebus. Reince Priebus did get the RNC apparatus to help the president get elected, right?
Yeah, I think that's something that's very important, actually. Back when there were 17 candidates, and most people thought Trump was a joke and that he would self-detonate before Iowa and New Hampshire. Reince Priebus, whatever you feel about him, actually took him seriously as a candidate. And as the primary season proceeded, Reince Priebus actually, at a time when a lot of Republican establishment figures, including Paul Ryan up to, 10 days before the election, were saying, we can't go with this guy, Reince Priebus said, this man is going to be our candidate and we have to work with him. And when all else is said and done about him, and it's that way in Washington that everyone's actually lowering him into the ground, sealing the casket and burying him right now, but actually at a time when everybody was saying, no, we can still drag Jeb across the finish line, line. We can still drag Marco across the finish line. He was the most important Republican establishment figure to get the message that this guy, Trump, is going to win, and we have to figure out a way to work with him.
Mark, here's the thing. Will General Kelly, some people have said the president just needs some adult supervision with his tweets. Now, people understand that the president has a direct connection,
right,
and the American people, his backers out there, his voters, love it. They love his transparency. They love that he's fighting tooth and nail for him. Some have found that those tweets come at inopportune moments, and they're indelicately phrased and incorrect, some of them. So will General Kelly be able to go toe-to-toe with the president and say, you know what, maybe back off on that one?
Well, I don't think so, because I get the feeling that the tweets essentially go out unmoderated. But I'd say this, there's like three groups of people. There's people who love Trump's personality, as reflected in those tweets. There's a big chunk of the country that just loathes his personality. But the most important one is the one that delivered victory, and that is those people who felt that it didn't matter that Trump was not the perfect vessel, but that he was the only vessel for things they cared about, like ending mass illegal immigration and all that kind of stuff. And so people will forgive the tweets. That they don't mind Trump's personality as long as they also get those Trump policies.